Hi, everybody. I'm sorry that this one is late. It's the end of the week instead of the beginning of the week, but I wanted to share with you some thoughts from Jacob chapter 5 through 7 that hopefully will complement what you've already studied this week in your Come Follow Me. I appreciate having the excused absence. Last week, we asked ourselves the question about what the Holy Ghost has taught us about loving our brethren as ourselves and about treating everyone like our family. This was Jacob's antidote for letting not the pride of our hearts destroy our souls. I hope you had your own personal revelations, your own experiences as you pondered on the teachings of Jacob from the Book of Mormon last week. Since last Thursday, I've been on a road trip to Nauvoo and Kirtland, Ohio. My wife and I and my youngest daughter got to experience some of the great sights of church history and the total eclipse while we were in Kirtland. That's why this message is a little late. As you studied Jacob chapter 5, you obviously recognize the story of the olive tree, a great parable about grafting and planting and pruning and the Lord's effort to keep his olive tree alive. There are several things that I noticed and I wanted to point out to you. Take a look at these verses out of Jacob chapter 5. Repeatedly, the Lord tells us that it grieveth him that he should lose this tree. All his effort with his servant are because he fears and he worries and he grieves at the demise of his olive tree. The Lord of the vineyard goes on in this parable to talk about the efforts to save the tree by nourishing it. All this long time they nourished it. We find out from these verses that this effort to nourish the tree and to keep it alive were an effort over time, that they tried a little longer for one more time, just doing anything they can to save the olive tree, with the hope that they would rejoice exceedingly in the fruit that is precious above all other fruits. They would have joy and that it would be most precious unto him from the beginning. In all of these ideas from Jacob chapter 5, in addition to historical or other significant things that you might note about what the different branches represent, I want to present kind of a single theme. The tree is the house of Israel. So what we've learned is that it grieves the Lord to see the decay of the house of Israel, that the Lord and his servants nourish the house of Israel so it will grow, that the Lord has a long-term plan for the house of Israel. All this time, he says, right? That the house of Israel is precious to the Lord, and that the Lord rejoices in the growth of the house of Israel. In Jacob's mind, I imagine he surely thought this meant the people of Jerusalem who had been carried off, and people like the Nephites who had been led by the Lord to leave Jerusalem and who feel like they are strangers in a strange land. But asking ourselves what it means to be the house of Israel. The house of Israel are the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They are people at both sides of the veil who need to be invited to participate in the fullness of the gospel. So let's let the olive tree, which represents the house of Israel, let's let the house of Israel represent somebody you specifically minister. Let's call her Jane. It grieves the Lord to see the decay of Jane. It grieves him to see hard choices, bad decisions, and even just hardships that Jane goes through. So the Lord and his servants nourish Jane so she will grow. The Lord has a long-term plan for Jane. Jane is precious to the Lord. The Lord rejoices in the growth of Jane. This, we could obviously insert anybody's name in there. One of our friends, somebody from our family, anybody that we associate with. And hopefully we would see that all the day long the Lord works to bring to pass good things for the house of Israel. And the house of Israel are specific individuals. The house of Israel also represents you. You are the house of Israel. It grieves the Lord to see the decay in your spiritual life. He loves you. He weeps with you. His heart is turned toward you, and his arms of mercy are outstretched always toward you. That's how the Lord feels about the house of Israel, and you are the house of Israel. The Lord and his servants nourish you, so you will grow. The Lord has a long-term plan for you. Let's not be upset or discouraged by setbacks or by some time and periods where we're not at our best. The Lord has a long-term plan for you. You are precious to the Lord. The Lord rejoices in your growth. Because of that, because those statements are true, we can look and see what it means to be one of the Lord's servants, seeking out those precious things that are people that are dear to him. As the Lord's servant, I should recognize how much he cares about people. I should spend my time nourishing his people. I don't need to spend very much time hurting them, wounding them, or teaching them lessons. They need to be nourished so they can bring forth good fruit. I should prepare the way for them that they may grow. I should be more patient when there doesn't seem to be an immediate response. And I should rejoice with everyone who progresses in the covenant path. And finally, I should appreciate what it means to work with the Lord. As he says, "Blessed art thou, for because ye have been diligent in laboring with me in my vineyard." I appreciate every opportunity I have to know that I am working with the Lord. I am grateful to know that I am of the house of Israel and that I am a candidate of these same promises symbolically made to the olive tree. I believe that you are the person that this olive tree vineyard was meant to represent. Thank you for paying attention to me this afternoon, and I hope to see you again Monday. Goodbye.